we are given a question under stoichiometry, which is called empirical formula. Empirical formula. Now, what is the meaning of empirical formula? Empirical formula is just simply writing chemical formula in the simplest form. Writing of chemical formula in the simplest form is what we call an empirical formula. Anytime you're writing a chemical formula in the simplest form, we refer to it as empirical formula. So let's go into our question and see what we have. Coming down to our question, which is R1, we are given that the empirical formula of an oxide of nitrogen containing 30% of nitrogen is. Now, when they use the word oxide of nitrogen, what do they mean? Oxide of nitrogen. Anytime oxide is attached to any chemical formula, it's always referred to as oxygen. For instance, it can be NO2, we don't know. It can be N2O, or it can be NO, or NO3. These are the oxide of nitrogen, or NO3. These are the oxide of nitrogen. So we want to look which of them is the right one based on the percentage given to us. And that's what we call the empirical formula. So let's solve it. Okay, to solve the empirical formula for this oxide of nitrogen, we already know that this compound is made up of two elements. The compound is made up of two elements, which is nitrogen and oxygen. So since we know that they are made up of nitrogen and oxygen, what is the percentage of nitrogen do we have and what is the percentage of oxygen do we have? From the question we are given that we have 30% of nitrogen. So if our nitrogen is 30%, what it should be oxygen? Oxygen should be 70%. So we are going to find the empirical formula of these two compounds, or two elements rather. The very first thing I need to do is to write the percentage of nitrogen and the percentage of oxygen. The percentage of nitrogen is given as 38%. Sorry, 30%. While the percentage of oxygen, we have it as 70%. So that's the very first thing you need to do. The next thing you do is now break each of the percentage by their molecular formula, or you say atomic mass. Now the question is, what is atomic mass of nitrogen? Is already given as a question as 14. So I divide it by 14. Likewise, what is atomic mass of oxygen is given as a question as 16. So I divide it by 16. So what will I have when I do that? What I'm going to have as my result will be 30 divided by 14. With the help of a calculator, we're going to have it as 2.14. That's 2.14. While the other one, 70 divided by 16. With the help of a calculator, that will be 4.13. So that's it. Now that we divided each of the elements or the atom by their atomic mass, the next thing to do, you now divide it by the smallest value between the two. The smallest value between 2.14 and 4.13 is 2.14. So I divide both sides by 2.14. Likewise, I divide it by 2.14. So we know that this will cancel out this. We have 1. When we try to find 4.13 divided by 2.14, we're going to have our answer to be roughly 2. So therefore, that's the empirical formula for the element given to us. So that means our nitrogen is 1, while oxygen is 2. So the answer is NO2. This is how we find the empirical formula of any compound given to us. So let's go to the option whether we have such an answer. Coming to our option, the right answer here stands as option C. Option C stands as the right answer.